Lately I've been going through some problems from past couple of months, and I wanted help, and then I kind of contacted Mr. Roshan. I This is my first session. And when I came here, I was like, really extremely much anxious and bit crying, and like didn't know how to deal with my emotions and stuff. And now after that, of course, we talked and we shared, and then we had this whole music session. And I was trying to be a bit more trying to hold it together in the beginning, but I think music really broke me. It was just broke all the barriers that I had in my head. And then it was like I just it became like a whole free flowing thing for me. I cried a lot actually, but then I really felt good about now. And after the whole session ended, I'm feeling much better. I feel like I some things that I couldn't express through words. I am very vocal, but still somehow it came out through that emotions that I felt during listening that music. And somehow I also got some clarity during the session. And yeah, I'm finding it like, I'm not a big believer in therapy, but now I think this is like something which has helped me. And I feel people should at least try this once, like people like me who are a bit skeptic about all these things. But I think not always one can overanalyze and in Freudian terms and try to understand stuff. But I think sometimes it's very, very essential for us to let it loose and go with the flow. And I think music is something that really helps. And maybe I am kind of becoming a believer in this. And I think one should at least try it once. It's a really good thing.
Neisha, can you tell me something in very brief about your work front?
So
timings, especially.
So I work in the mornings. I work in the corporate world. My timings are like 8:30 to 5:30, something like that. Yeah.
So 8:30 to 5:30, and we all live with the stress.
It's a very demanding job. I have to meet clients, and it is kind of demanding. Yeah.
So we don't find time for ourselves.
It is difficult to find time for ourselves, because then you have got work, then you've got other commitments, then you've got gym, then it just takes up your whole time, and then you don't even realize when the stress is building up, and it just comes out I feel.
So don't you think so today's outburst, or I would call it a free flow, was worthwhile?
I think one needs it, at least in some periods, because we are so good at kind of suppressing all these things, and then they just come out in different ways. For me it came out like this, maybe for others, so it's always good to have a healthy expression of it, instead of getting into maybe some habits, or maybe some kind of things that one may not, or some personality things that one may not like it later. I think it's quite healthy to just let it out in a more healthy and way.
Thank you so much, Neisha, for sharing this with the world.
Thank you.
And looking forward for more sessions with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.